So classification of materials. Okay. Now we can go to the details. I mean, how we can define, or how we can categorize the solids, okay, and material science. Okay. So solid materials have been conveniently grouped into three basic categories. What you are left with? The ceramics. Okay. So metal, ceramics, and polymers. Right. This is the category of solid materials. Right. So, and let me read first. So, solid materials have been conveniently grouped into three basic categories: metals, ceramics, and polymers. A scheme based primarily on chemical makeup and atomic structure. Right, as I have already told you in this part, this part. Okay. Most material falls into one distinct groups or another. So, obvious. Okay. So, I mean, whatever the material that you are having, they must fall in any one of their particular groups or categories. Okay. In addition, there are the composite materials, right? The composites that are engineered combination of the two or more different materials. Okay. Very common composites are the pillars, the beams that we see around us, right? In other basic office or home structures that we live in, that are the pillars, beams, roof. They all are the example of the perfect uh, composites, right? So what the composite required? Composite material requires some kind of the matrix and different kind of reinforcement. So two terms basically associate with the composites. First is the matrix, and second one is reinforcement. Reinforcement. I mean the matrix. I mean, if you take the example of our the beam, okay, or pillars, okay. So the rod that we put inside the beam or the pillar, that is known as a matrix, okay. The reinforcement, okay. Sorry, that was a reinforcement. Reinforcement are, I mean, which combined, which basically hold the matrix part. So matrix part are in, and if you would like to understand how you can, easily understand which one is the matrix and how they, and reinforcement. So the less material which is present in your composite is known as basically the reinforcement, and the bulk quantity or the more quantity that present in composite is known as your matrix. Okay, so reinforcement in our beam example, okay, the rod present is a reinforcement, and the concrete, cement, and sands, they all combine together is known as your matrix. Okay, so composite materials are of different types. Okay, so yeah, I have gone in details that was not required right now. Okay, so in addition, there are the composite materials that engineer combination of the two or more different materials, right? So as we can take the example of the concrete and the beam, you have a basically the rod, okay, the concrete and sand and cement, right? These four basically different materials are combining make your beam stronger, right? So that we required. You can think about, okay, if without the rod, if you will uh, if you will draw the beam, okay, forget about the pillars. If we talk about the beam, So could they be able to exist, or they will sustain long, very long? No, they cannot. Yeah, they can stand for a few times, okay, but after that they will fall down. Okay, so why the reinforcement present like the rod, they hold them. Okay, so they are basically holding the matrix to stay there. So, so I mean, uh, this is the combination where the human being can make the materials and make the things according to their requirements. So, whatever the requirements that we are having the requirements of making the beam. So, what we did, we applied the reinforcement as a rod, and then we put the materials, sands, cements, and concrete as a matrix materials. Okay, so this is a very common example that I have taken. Okay, though lots of other materials are present in market. Okay, and by man-made. Okay, sorry. That is so. This is the world of composites right now. Okay, because I mean the materials that are present, metal, non-metals, and polymer ceramics, they all are already been used mostly. So the composite materials, I mean, where you can save the material, you can have the less weight and you can have the good capacity. I mean, the strength and the durability. What are the things that you required that can be increased? Okay, with the composite. Suppose, I mean, you have a material which have a capacity of something like 100 megapascal strength. Okay, now you have just incorporated some ceramics, some brittle material, or some hard materials, okay, in that particular uh, material. Okay, and now you got the product which is okay, in a different ratio. Okay, I mean, what the ratio that have been decided according to your performance. So that will increase your, suppose the strength is like 120, okay, megapascal. So you have increase your strength. So it depends on the requirement. Okay. So composites are very frequently used these days. Okay, because they save you materials. Only a small amount of the foreign materials, I mean the different materials that are going to be incorporated in the base material, which is known as a matrix. Okay, and like a the foreign material known as a reinforcement, they will increase your strength. Okay, and increasing your strength and keeping your material cost low. Okay, so composites are very useful these days. Okay, so another categories are the advanced material. What is advanced materials? Like the nanomaterials. Okay, semiconductors. Okay, biomaterials. These are known as the advanced materials. Now, these days, the researchers across the world are working on this materials, okay, to achieve the different kind of the properties, different kind of, behavior. I mean, the properties, okay, so that the main the purpose in material science, okay, to utilize the material less, okay, and get the benefit more. It is a very fundamental policy or rules throughout the world, right? And throughout the subject as well. Whatever the subject you are studying, your first priority is to give the less input and get the more output. Okay, though without giving the any kind of the input, you cannot get the output, right? So you must have to provide some kind of the input. Okay, then you will get a output. But what we can modify, but what we can change, we can uh, we can alter the material to or alter the procedure sometime to get our requirement. Okay, to minimize the material and increase the capacity. Okay, so these are the uh, these are the advanced material basically. Okay,